All right, so we're going to talk about management strategies when problems are raised and when people identify problems. And I'm going to assume that we're working in some environment where, things come up, or we're building something, or we're planning something, or we're watching something, and issues can come up. And I'm going to pick today, the example I'm going to use throughout this is probably water in the basement, right? I see there's water in the basement, and what do I do about it? So in my mind, a lot of times, there are two ways people raise issues. One is doomsaying, whining, complaining. They don't know what to do about it. Or I guess it could be a customer that doesn't know anything, right? So let's assume this is inside the team. And so the one on the left is passive resistance. And that's, I'm just going to keep raising stuff because this way we never have to do anything. But let's focus on the right-hand side. That's identifying and fixing with continuous improvement. So I'm assuming we identify things, we want to improve the environment. What are the different approaches that we can take to this as management? And I'm going to pick three. One is a classic management style, a classic. Only bring a problem if you have a solution. And so this one is, you're not allowed to raise a problem, bring up anything, and if you have an answer of how it should be fixed. So let's pick our friend, the water in the basement problem. I see there's water in the basement of the building. And I'm not in building maintenance. I don't know anything about this, or I'm like part of the crew, but I don't know how you stop water in the basement or where it's come from, but it seems like it's a problem. So in this case, I've actually worked on software teams where we were only allowed to bring up problems if we had the solutions. And if I wasn't the SME for that, the subject matter expert, or I didn't have a skill set in that space, that meant I wasn't allowed to raise it, right? And I feel like this is dumb. And people that do this I don't know why they do this. But I mean, I get part of it, right? Because then people just don't bring you a stream of endless problems and that you're buried under. It's really a self-defense mechanism in my mind for the people that get the problems raised to them. The second one is you raised it, you own it. And I'm going to say, I like this one a little better, but I'm not going to add the thing with help, right? So I raise it, I own it, there's help. Hey, we've got water in the basement. Okay. Why don't we think about what we can do? Why don't you call some water abatement people? Or we'll think of what kind of treatment we could have, and you could make some phone calls and we can get some estimates, maybe. Right? Or if it's software or something else, it's right. I don't know how this process is supposed to work. Okay, I raised it. I own it. But if I'm still not the SME, maybe that's not what I should do. And I'll cover another way to do that, right? So I like this one better. But I have worked in groups where we did, you raise it, you own it. And the downside was nobody raised it. I'm busy as heck. I see water in the basement. I've got other stuff to do. If I raise it, I added this to my own backlog, I'll be farther behind. And so I don't raise it. So we dropped a lot of things on the floor. The next one was creating a backlog item. And this implies that you're organized, that you have a to-do list and you're not running from fire to fire, right? And you could prioritize it later, or you could prioritize it now, and then you have some system for pulling things in the backlog. We're doing building maintenance. There's a flood in the basement. I'm going to raise it. Let's prioritize that. It's now at the top of our list of things to work on. We can pull more resources in on that, right? Or at least to figure out what we're going to do about it. So I'm sure there's a million others, and I'll get like feedback on this. But to my mind, these are the three I've seen. And they all have their advantages. They all have, so some of them have significant disadvantages. And so the question is, what approach are you going to take? Do you even have an approach? So pick an approach and try it, and then stick with it so people understand that there's a repeatable process there. And that's really all I wanted to talk about, right? That was, do you have a management strategy for taking action when people identify problems? Have a great day.